Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to continue with our lectures on Chitta-Dhrupas, and this would be the last lecture on Chitta-Dhrupas, and that is about the Rupas related to Chitta, not specifically the Chitta-Dhrupas, but any Rupa that has some sort of a relationship with the Chitta. So in this regard, because we know Chitta-Dhrupas are the things that are produced by Chitta. Whenever Chitta arises, Chitta-Dhrupas would arise together, they are not following them, they are rising together simultaneously with the Chitta. And Chitta is powerful at the moment of its arising, so it is capable of producing the relevant Rupas that are helpful to the body. So we can see that among the Rupas that are produced by, among the fourfold Rupas, Chitta-Dhrupa seems to be the most subtle, and they are really connected with the consciousness. And Kamajrupas are also sort of subtle, has a subtle nature, and they are produced by something, a nama dhamma that has arisen in the past. So, but Uttajarupas are very gross, we can say, and they do last, their generations do last for a longer period. Now in this chapter, in this lesson, we are going to talk about Rupas that are not Chittaja Rupas. It means they are not directly produced by Chitta, but they have a different origin. They are mostly they are Uttaja Rupas, but they are somewhat related to Chitta, as the tradition acknowledges that, accepts that they have some sort of connection with the Chitta. So the difference between Chittas related to Rupas related to Chitta and the Rupas produced by Chitta, Chitta-Dhrupas are the mind-born matter. The latter group is produced, like their origin is mainly due to the Chitta. Chitta is coming up, like when it is arising, it arises producing those Rupas. A simile is given when a mushroom shoots out from the earth. Whenever it comes up, it has some little bit of soil on it. It comes together with the soil. So in the same way, whenever the Chitta arises, it arises producing some other material stuff. And the Rupas related to Chitta are not of this sort. They are somewhat related, like they have their origin is something else. It's not the Chitta. They are mostly produced by Utu, Tejo Dhatu, but Chitta is affecting them, either to their in a lineage way, or Chittas are modifying or changing or causing a change in their appearance. So we will just read it out, and while reading we'll be able to explain, find out what they really mean. Chittas, Rupas related to Chittas and Chetasikas. Chittas and Chetasikas strengthen the Rupas arisen in the same body that have arisen prior to them. So arisen in the same. So when the Rupas have when the Chitta is mostly associated Rupa in the Panchavokara realm, and Rupas arise. There are 4 types of Rupas arising due to Chitta. Karma born matter, mind born matter, temperature born matter, and nutrition born matter. So all these 4 types of Rupas that are produced by various causes, in their existing phase, like persisting phase, the Rupa has arisen and they are lasting for some time, 17 mind moments, and eventually they vanish. So during this persisting stage, they are strengthened by the Chitta Chetasikas. So that strengthening is called Pacha Jata Pachya Sakti. And so in a living body, unless the person has attained into the Nirodha Samapatti, and also the ones who are born in the Asanyasatta realm. Except these two occasions, rupas that are found in the body are always constantly affected by the chitta. So this is, they are produced by different causes. Like there could be those rupas, could be the chittaja rupas produced by another chitta as well. But whatever the rupa it is, regardless of its origin, when during its persisting phase, they are affected or strengthened, actually strengthened by the chitta. So that's what is mentioned here. Especially we are living, our body is living as long as our mind exists in it, on it, or whatever associating it. In this regard, chitta chesikas are called pachajata pachaya, and the rupas that are strengthened are called pachajata pachayupanna. All are four types of rupas in a body that are strengthened by mind and mental factors are called chitta pachaya. We call it chitta pachaya. The term given is chitta pachaya. Chitta pachaya are the rupas strengthened by chitta, regardless of the origin. This even could include chitta rupas produced by prior chittas. Then chitta pachaya ahara samuttana. That's another term. Chitta pachaya ahara samuttana. Chitta pachaya ahara samuttana. What does it mean? They are the now a consciousness chitta produces chitta rupa, for instance. Chitta rupa. These chitta rupas contain oja. They do contain oja. This oja is producing aharaja rupas. Aharaja rupas. Because this is ahara rupa, they are producing aharaja rupas. So these aharaja rupas have a linear connection with the chitta, because these rupas were produced by a chitta in the initially they were produced by a chitta. So this chitta is producing them. So and these oja in these rupas are producing aharaja rupas. So we can see, if you go to the trace their origin, the first origin would be the chitta. So these are called chitta pachaya ahara samuttana. So the rupas produced by oja or ahara rupa, that was initially produced by a chitta, because all the rupas in this cluster are produced by the chitta. So chitta pachaya ahara samuttana. So chitta pachaya ahara samuttana are the rupas that arise due to the oja rupa in chittaja kalapas. Under the fourfold classification, these rupas fall under aharaja rupas. They are aharaja rupas actually, and they are the chitta pachaya ahara samuttana. The fourfold classification, we are just talking about the initial, what is the main cause for that origin of that particular rupa. That's all. We don't investigate what is the linear connection with any cause. We are just focusing on the proximate cause which produced that rupa. But here we are going into a linear, we are going to find out the lineage, and we see a chitta coming into play. And then there are three types of rupas that are categorized as chitta pachya uttu samuttana. That's another category. Chitta pachya uttu samuttana. Chitta pachya uttu samuttana. Right. Chitta pachya uttu samuttana. If we take this as the category, now one uttu pachya uttu samuttana can be found from here, because these kalapas also contain uttu. They also contain tejo dhatu. Tejo dhatu, which is called uttu. And this tejo dhatu would produce utuja rupas. Utuja rupa. And those utuja rupas have uttu or tejo dhatu as their origin, proximate origin, but those tejo dhatus were produced by chitta, were produced by chitta. So they are called Chitta Paccaya Utu Samuttahana. In the fourfold classification, they are Utuja Rupas because they are produced by Utu or Tejo Dhatu. But that Tejo Dhatu was initially produced by a Chitta. So Chitta Paccaya Utu Samuttahana. That's how it should be categorized. There are three types of Rupas. Under fourfold categorization, they fall under the Utuja Rupas. Rupas that arise due to the Tejo Dhatu in Chittaja Kalapas are called Chitta Paccaya Utu Samuttahana. That's the point here. The Rupas produced by Tejo Dhatu in Kalapas produced by Chitta are called Chitta Paccaya Utu Samuttahana. Then there is another category. Matter created by psychic power is also called Chitta Paccaya Utu Samuttahana. Right? So for example, now if Abhiññāna Chitta, a special Chitta called Abhiññāna, this Abhiññāna Chitta can create some matter or figures in the outer world, in the outer environment. It can do. So sometimes it can even create a Rupa within the body and take it out. Takes it out. So these Rupas, now for example, if a tree was created from the Abhiññāna Chitta, so it seems now they are called Chitta Paccaya Utu Samuttahana. Seems like they were produced by the Rupas, Tejo Dhatu in the outer environment. That's how it seems like. Tejo Dhatu in other Rupa Kalapas, Utu or Tejo are producing them. But Abhiññāna Chitta is modifying or causing that to happen. So normally Utuja Rupas would produce Utuja Rupas that are similar to that. Because Rupas in the chair would keep on remaining as a chair. Rupas in the air element would produce Rupas which are air element. But this is in this case, for example, taking the Rupas in the outer world, he is creating a Rupa that looks like a tree. So these Rupas in the original sense are Utuja Rupas. Should be Utuja Rupas. But so it contains Kalapas here. These newly produced Rupa contains Kalapas, and these Kalapas are Utuja Rupas, and they are produced by, then they are made to appear like this by the Chitta, Abhiññāna Chitta. They are originally Utuja Rupas, produced by the Utu in some matter. And they are caused to be in this way by the Abhiññāna Chitta. Matter created with the psychic power, created by psychic power is also called Chitta Paccaya Utu Samuttahana. These Rupas are again twofold. Matter created with psychic power but can only be touched by the creator. When one needs to create a hard surface on the sky, first the yogi must attain the Patavi Kasina of fifth jhana. Afterwards, he must enter into the Vayu Kasina to get into the surface flying. This created ground on the sky can be used by the yogi who created it, only by the yogi who created it. Another person cannot walk on this surface or stand on it. For example, a person with Abhiññāna, right? He may create an earth on the sky, may levitate and go into it, and he may start walking on it. This surface of earth was created by the Abhiññāna Chitta of the yogi. Abhiññāna Chitta of the yogi. This newly created surface of earth is a creation of his Abhiññāna Chitta. And this is now another person may jump onto it, but he will eventually fall down. He will not be able to stand on it. So these Rupas created by the psychic power in such cases cannot be touched or used by someone else other than the person who created them. So there is some kind of relationship with the Rupa and the person. Then matter created with psychic power and can be touched by the creator and others as well. Sometimes yogis who possess Abhiññāna can create matter that can be touched by others as well. Others can use them, others can touch them even. For instance, if the hard surface is thus created, Others can also walk on it and stand on it. It is mentioned that the Arahant Dabbamallaputta created Senasana for the use of other monks. So sometimes you can create realities that can be used by others. This tree, someone else could stand. So there are some stories in which, for instance, uh, uh, a river was made into ghee and other monks could use it. And Pilindavacha took some straws of like plants of straws, pieces of straw, and made it to a golden jewelry. So this, and that girl started wearing it. So likewise, there can be some psychically create a psychic power, create Rūpa that was created by psychic power that can be used by others as well. That can be used by others as well. So but what happens is, whatever it is, now they are Utuja Rūpas. They are produced by the Utu, and they are modified. Or normally Utuja Rūpas would produce Rūpas that are similar to it. But in this case, the psychic power or the Abhiññāna Chitta is influenced those Rūpas and making them to appear, their next generation, somewhat different from their original generation. Someone can also argue that regardless of the Utuja Rūpas that are found there, Chittas are directly creating a new Rūpa. If we take this, it's a bit of a bold move to call that, because we don't see any explanation on the literature about these matters. What the literature says is they are Chitta Pacca Utu Samuttana. So the assumption would be, the easiest guess, or the simple assumption would be, those Rūpas have originally occurred, arisen due to the Tejo Dhatu in those Kalapas, due to the Tejo Dhatu on those Kalapas, and these Chittas are influencing them, influencing their nature. But someone can also argue that suddenly these Rūpas were originally created by the Chitta as well. So then it's not causeless actually. The Chitta has the capacity to create. But this can lead into some arguments as well. So it's a little bit difficult to explain how this happens. Then there's another Chitta Pacca Utu Samuttana. Sound produced by acts such as clapping are also called Chitta Pacca Utu Samuttana in Paramatta Dipani, as the mind is involved in producing it. Now this is like, this obviously mind is, now these are Utu Samuttana, because even while we are sleeping, if somehow our hands have to happen to clap by someone else, the sound would occur. So due to the striking of two things, naturally the sound will arise. But in clapping, in cases like clapping, we are making it with a deliberate effort. Chitta is involved in the clapping, and clapping produces Utuja Rūpas. Those Rūpas are also called Chitta Pacca Utu Samuttana. Right? Then sometimes both animate and inanimate things get affected by mentalities, can be affected by mentality. Sometimes which I couldn't include here is, there is another type of Chitta Pacca Utu Samuttana, which is a bit a strange type of Rūpa. A yogi who is having, for instance, Kamatthanas, his consciousness is this, Vipassana consciousness. Vipassana consciousness is arising, and this is producing Rūpas in the body. These are Chittaja Rūpas. And these Kalapas, when they go out in generation, they turn into be Utuja Rūpas. They turn into Utuja, and they keep on spreading at the when someone has reached the level of Udayabbe Jnana and the Upakkilesas are arising. And also it happened to Buddha while he was preaching the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the glorious light, luminous light that spread all over the world is said to be produced by his Sabbanyutta Jnana omniscience, his omniscience. So though initially they were Chittaja Rūpas, when they come out of the body, they become Utuja Rūpas, which is a little bit of a strange phenomenon. One can argue that the Tejo Dhatu in those Rūpas are producing Tejo Dhatu in those Chittaja Rupas are producing Uttaja Rupas, but still then it clashes with the Visuddhi Magga's explanation saying that Chitta Paccha Utusamuttana, this lineage, Chitta Paccha Utusamuttanas would last for just for 2 or 3 generations. But we know that such lights would emit and keep on going further and further. Therefore, it seems like it's a very difficult thing to explain in terms of Theravada Abhidhamma. It also happens with the explanation given in the ancient commentaries about the sound, because sound is a Chittaja Rupa while we are speaking in most of the cases, and those sounds, when if it travels in generations, it says it travels in generation, which I'll be talking in the next section. Those rupas has to be Uttaja, because Chittaja Rupas cannot exist out of the body. That's another very basic fundamental. Chittaja Rupas can exist only within the body. So, whenever the light emits from the body or a sound goes out from the body, always those rupas are Uttaja Rupas. There's no other option. There's no other possibility. Like, it cannot be anything else. But the thing is, when the generation has started, it initially starts with the Chittaja Rupas, and then it keeps on going as Uttaja Rupas. So it seems like the Chittaja Rupa generations has turned into Uttaja Rupas, which is little bit of a strange phenomenon for me, in terms of Theravada fundamentals. So I didn't include this here. Then we have how the rupas are affected by the chitta. It's now here we talked about rupas that are now produced by Uttaja Rupas, but chitta is in a linear connection is there. Linear connection of the chitta is there. In the previous explanation, rupas are strengthened by the chitta, and also some oja is producing the chitta rupas which were initially produced by a chitta. So now rupas affected by the chitta, that also includes the Pachajata Pachupanna as well, but I took this as a separate section. Some yogis with psychic powers can create hollows inside things such as walls, mountains and seas. They are affecting Rupa. They are not creating new Rupa, they are creating hollows, empty space inside. Then they can move through those hollow spaces. Others see as the yogi is going through those solid objects. So a yogi may suddenly go through a solid object. We may see it as something like a miracle, but the person is he's creating a hollow inside. On such instances, the yogi affects the matter of those solid objects. He's affecting the matter. It could be a subjective experience, subjective thing. That's only because if we start to go behind him, we'll obviously clash against the wall. We'll clash against the solid object. So it's something that is affecting the rupas. Some yogis with psychic powers can levitate by making their bodies light. Even the ones who does not possess abhiññāna may levitate in the sky due to having ubbeka pīti. The ones who doesn't have abhiññāna may also sometimes experience this strange phenomenon. There are records about in the recent past that some have levitated to some extent while meditating and so forth. So anyway, on both these occasions, the body of the person has become light due to the influence of mentalities. So some can levitate due to abhiññāna and some can levitate due to excessive happiness, ubbega pīti, because pīti generates some kind of rupas that are with air element. So it makes the causes the body and the mind to blossom actually. So as a result, this speed which goes up would cause the body to levitate. There are stories in Theravada tradition in which some were able to make impact on one's own body and even that of others with the power of solemn declaration, Satcha Kriya. There's a very another term, aspect in Theravada. Satcha Kriya. Satcha Kriya are the solemn determinations, like saying that I have uttering a certain truth and causing some miracles to happen, certain things. So sometimes preventing danger or sometimes causing some beneficial effects. In the Kattahari Jataka, the Bodhisattva's mother made such a determination and threw the young Bodhisattva into the sky, because Bodhisattva's mother was an ordinary woman who was collecting firewood, and the father happened to be a king. While the father was wandering in the garden, he saw this young woman who was attractive, and the king had sex with her, and she got pregnant on the spot. And she said this to the king, and the king said, if it is a young baby, boy, child boy, boy child, please bring it to me. If it is a girl, he gave a ring and said, sell this and take care of her. Just don't bring it to me, bring her to me, just you take care of her, that this would be sufficient. So then it happened to be a child, and it was the Bodhisattva, a boy, and it was a Bodhisattva, and the wife brought him to the court, and the king was ashamed. King recognized her, but he was ashamed to accept it, and he denied the fact that this is his child. And she had to go back, and the Bodhisattva, because Bodhisattva suggested when he was young to take him to his father. Then he said, do a Satchakiriya, because he had that knowledge, innate knowledge in him, a priori knowledge we can call, that he possessed with by the influence of his samsaric practice. And he said to mother, you throw me up, and saying that this is a truth. If this is not truth, true, may the child fall down. If it is true, may the child remain on the sky, and throw him into the sky. So the mother in the courts threw the Bodhisattva into the sky, and he started to levitate. He started to remain in the sky with the power of the Satchakiriya. And this is something impact made on someone else's body by someone else. The mother, because of mother's words, utterance of truth, the child Bodhisattva happened to remain in the sky. And then the father embraced him, took him, and he had a lot of love towards the child, and in the end he became the ruler of that kingdom as well, right, into the sky. Having them in the Kattahari Jataka, the Bodhisattva's mother made such a determination and threw the young Bodhisattva into the sky, having taken him from his feet. Due to the truth of the utterance, the Bodhisattva levitated in the sky. As mentioned in the Kanna Dipayana Jataka, snake venom running in a child's body was removed by the Satchakiriya made by 3 people: the Bodhisattva, the child's mother, and the child's father. So we can see the Kattahari Jataka, a snake bit the child, and the father, mother, and the ascetic in whose hermitage they were at that time, and they made Satchakiriya, they made determination, saying that I have been doing this, and this is true. May, with the power of this truth, may the poison goes away. And those were not actually, they were not declaring anything very special. They were declaring their faults actually, because Bodhisattva, when it was said to the Bodhisattva, who was the hermit, the parents normally regularly attend the Bodhisattva and give him donations, give him food, they were regular donors for 12 years. And suddenly one day the child was playing in the hermitage, and the ball went into a snake ant hill, and while he was put his hand to take the ball, as a poisonous venomous snake bit the child, and child had fallen down unconscious, and they had no option. So parents suggested the ascetic to do a determination and to cure the child. So ascetic was reluctant to do that, but he had no option. So he said, I have been living like a monk, as an ascetic for 12 years, but I only enjoyed my asceticism just for 7 days. I remained the entire other period due to the shame of disrobing. So I remain as ascetic. So this is truth. This is true. I am not happy in my monk life, in my ascetic life, and with this utterance of truth, may the poison go away. So it went down till the head, and the child could lift his head. Then the ascetic told the father to do a Satchakiriya. Then he also was reluctant because he had something to reveal. Then in the end he had to reveal it. He said, I gave offerings to you for 12 years, but I was really reluctant. I was never happy to do that because I had to do my duty, so that's why I offered. And that was another determination which was not very pleasant to hear. Then the poison went to the dropped down till the hip. Then everyone asked the mother to do the determination, and she was really reluctant to do that, but she was forced to, she had to do that. And she said, I have been living with this husband for such a long time, and to be true, this husband is more undesirable. Like I hate the husband, I don't like him, even more than this snake, more than, no, as much as I don't like the snake, whatever. So I don't like the husband even more than the snake. So that's the truth. That's true. So with the power of this truth, may the child be cured, and the poison completely went off. Then child started to run and play, and they all got revealed about their the things that they had in them, the dirt, and the devotee invited and requested the bodhisattva to practice the monk life happily, and he made a determination, and the bodhisattva also advised both the husband and the wife, husband to make dana with a happy mind, not to be reluctant about your donations, and the wife to be happy with the husband. And in the story goes that in the end they also all adjusted their faults, rectified their faults. The bodhisattva practiced asceticism very deeply, very seriously, and attained jhanas, and was born in the Brahma realm. And the mother and the father also rectified their I would say faults, or there are some defects in their behavior, and he started giving food happily thereafter, and my wife also had a good family life with the husband. So then Prince Pola Janaka got released from his chains due to the Satchakriya he made in the Mahajanaka Jataka. Pola Janaka was captured by Arita Janaka, his elder husband, elder brother, and he was made to hang by chains. And he made a determination, because he was innocent in the first place, and he made a determination, since I have never done anything fault to my brother king, brother was the king, and he was the wise king actually, and with this satcha, with this merit, with this truth, may all the bondages be open. So released. So he got released, and he went away, and those were all Satchakriya, the miracles that happened due to Satchakriya, and they were impacting the physical world. That's the point here. Satchakriyas are impacting the physical world. Yes, so how the Rupas affected by the mind. Sometimes the yogis create hollows in the outer things in the environment, and sometimes their bodies get lighter and they could levitate. Even with excessive happiness, levitation could happen. And also there are stories in which Rupas have been affected by the Solomon declaration of truths by people. And even it happened like once the Bodhisattva as a bird made such a kriya and stopped a fire in the Vattaka Jataka. Deities, Brahmas, and some divine like snakes can alter their form according to Theravada teachings. As mentioned in the Sakkudana Sutta, yes, deities and divine snakes and Brahmas, they could change their form according to their mind as they think. In the Sakkudana Sutta, King Sakka offered Venerable Mahakassapa food in the guise of an old feeble man. He changed his form into that of an old man. So he could change his figure. He didn't have psychic powers. He was a person who was enjoying sensual pleasures. So obviously he didn't have jhanas, but he could change his figure into that of a appearance of an old or a feeble man. The serpent Muchalinda, having sheltered the Buddha throughout the 6th week after the enlightenment, approached him in the guise of a young man. He too altered his appearance. Muchalinda, we can say this is the Udana Pali. He came to the Buddha in the appearance of a human being, and he was originally a serpent who sheltered. He was the serpent who sheltered the Buddha during the 6th week actually. So these beings are capable of changing their appearance according to their mind, even without having any psychic powers. Yogis with psychic powers sometimes can change their appearance into another form, such as an animal, deity, or a Brahmi. This ability is known as Vikubbana Iddhi. Vikubbana Iddhi. Vikubbana Iddhi. a psychic power that is prohibited for monks. Monks, sometimes the people who have psychic powers can alter their appearance. They can change, this is a psychic activity, they can make it to be, for example, a person may appear as a lion or an elephant, and this was prohibited by the Buddha because it can lead to a lot of confusion. Imagine a psychic person or a monk walking on the street like an elephant, then there can be a lot of misunderstanding. There, people can accumulate a lot of akusalas by throwing stones at it, shouting at it, having different thoughts towards it, towards him. So this was prohibited. This is, monks cannot do that actually. But there are instances in which monks have done it. You can see in the literature, but then we have to find out why had they have done it, or we have to find out the authenticity of the story, or what was the reason behind it. Because Moggallana changed his appearance into a Garuda, like Gurula, we call it Supanna in Pali, Garuda, so into a big bird who could attack the snakes, and while taming Nandopananda, the great serpent. And some may argue that the rule was not established by then. That's the argument that you can bring. But we also see Sanghamitta Theri, while bringing the Bodhi tree to Sri Lanka, according to the commentaries, she also got into the appearance of a Supannaraja bird to chase away the snakes who were coming to collect the Bodhi tree. So there are instances in which we can see the appearance of the divine person, the psychic person, especially monks, have changed their appearance into different forms. So sometimes sicknesses can occur due to the influence of strong defilements. Sometimes sickness can occur due to defilements. These sicknesses can be termed as kilesa samuttana abhada, sicknesses caused by defilements. On such occasions, matter in the body get affected by unwholesome mentalities. And also this can be reversed by having good mentalities. We can cure the sickness as well. That is also possible. So sicknesses can be caused by unwholesome thoughts in the mind, and also they can be cured. Some sicknesses can be cured by wholesome minds as well. Sometimes sicknesses get cured due to wholesome mentalities as well. The Buddha suppressed the sickness called Lohita Pakkandika by entering into the attainment of fruition, Phala Samapatti, called Jivita Sankhara Tapana Phala Samapatti. Jivita Sankhara Tapana Phala Samapatti. Jivita Sankhara means Jivitindriya, the life faculty. It makes the life faculty, it makes the life faculty to exist for a long period. So it doesn't let the person, the body health to decline and eventually die. So when someone enters into this Phala Samapatti, his body will be healthier for a longer period. Normally, every Phala Samapatti has some effect to the body, but that effect may not last long. But if Jivita Sankhara Tapana Phala Samapatti is attained, yes, the effect may last for a longer period. And how to enter this into this Phala Samapatti? You have to do the sammasana, the contemplation in a detailed way, Rūpa Sattaka and Arūpa Sattaka method. You have to do the contemplation in detail. So only then the effects would last for a longer period. And that Buddha suppressed this sickness, and it didn't appear in him till the last day of his life. So on the last day, it reoccurred, and he suffered a lot before his attainment of parinibbana. So these are the things I would like to discuss today. Rupas affected, or rupas related to chitta. Some are strengthened by the chitta. Some has chitta is related to them in a linear cause. That when we investigate the lineage, chitta is somewhere in the beginning, and then chitta is, in other cases, chitta is affecting the rupa in various ways during psychic powers, and sometimes the divine beings can alter their form. Even psychic beings can alter their form, and sometimes Rupa can be affected through Satchakiriya, making the determination based on truth, and sometimes sickness can be caused by unhealthy Rupas, and also they can be cured by the Chitta as well. So it shows that mind and matter are interrelated accordingly. So Theravada Buddhism suggests the mind-body interaction. We take it like we directly take it as that the mind is interacting with the body, and which is a very huge topic, the biggest topic in philosophy of mind, how the mind, which is non-physical, could affect the physical. There has not been any convincing, I would say, convincing theory presented in the Western philosophy to explain why it is happening. In Buddhism, we just take it as a fundamental. And when we would say when chittas arise, rupas arise, and those rupas are causing the physical effect. So we have all the physical movements are caused by the physicality. There's no argument in that, unless you are directly affecting the rupa in psychic powers. Even in that, one can say the movement is made by physical powers, but the initial causation was done by the chitta. So there is somehow you have to explain how the mind and matter is related. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. So even in while someone is working, like doing deliberate actions, the chitta is producing chitta rupa. The question which arises for the Theravadians is, how could the immaterial thing causes such rupa to happen? Would this violate the theory of energy conservation and so forth? There are questions to be asked. So no, in the Western philosophy, people are not convinced the fact that rupa is being caused by the chitta. In Theravada, we take it as a fundamental, we take it as it is, because according to folk psychology, as we can observe, we can see that rupa, mind is influencing rupa. We think and we work accordingly. We do our activities according to the as influenced or led by the consciousness or mental factors. So what they are arguing is folk psychology has been having had a bad time during all the past generations, past centuries. So they could be eventually replaced by a scientific methodology or explanation. That's what they are expecting. So anyway, we Theravadians take it like falling into like observations that we have. Even though it's very difficult to explain how a matter would produce, how an immaterial thing would produce something material, we would take it like as a fundamental, because that is observable. So observable and something that we can understand with our direct experience, right? So these rupas related to mind, this topic shows that there is an interaction from the mind to the body. That's what we are talking. And also there is interaction from body to mind as well, which we can find in many other places in the literature. So here this lesson is talking about how mind is influencing the rupa, how mind is producing rupa, or whatever other ways, like how is impacting the rupa. Yeah, so that would be the lecture. So this ends the lessons of Chittaja Rupas, and we'll be moving into a new section called Uttuja Rupas next week, and there we'll be talking especially about the sound. We'll talking especially about the sound and in the due course, and also some origin of the world according to Buddhist cosmology as well. That will be an interesting topic to discuss, and we'll see how it goes, unfolds. So I conclude the lecture, giving the forum for the Q&A session. Okay, there's no questions, right? So we can conclude the lecture. Yeah, and thank you for listening, and hope you enjoy that. And next day we are going to talk about Uttuja Rupas. We are going to start the new section. So may all of you happy, and may this merit of discussing Dhamma help all of us to attain the final liberation, and may this also help for the longevity of the Buddha Sasana. Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, Buddha Sasanang Chirantittatu, sadhu sadhu sadhu.